Hello, Power of Metal 247 here with my first ever car review on this channel. Now today I'm going to be driving a 2011 Jeep Wrangler. I've actually never driven this vehicle, and as you can see in the video, this is actually my very first time driving this car, and I must say it's an absolutely fantastic vehicle. This car is powered by a 3.8 liter V6 making 202 horsepower. It's definitely not the fastest, but it has no problem picking up. To the untrained eye, when a lot of people see this Jeep and they hear that this car cost $40,000 brand new, they wonder, where did $40,000 go? Most of the inside of the car is pretty much plastic, and there's no leather seats. The seats are cloth. There's no backup camera. And to be honest with you, you're not really paying for the actual car itself, but you're paying for the name and heritage. To some, that might be a bad thing, but I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing. This car is absolutely amazing to drive, and the reason why I say that is because it's a very raw vehicle. There's no assist. It doesn't feel like the car is driving me. I feel like I'm driving the car, and I feel like I'm in complete control, which a lot of vehicles unfortunately don't offer. The suspension on this car is very stiff. It may make for a bumpy ride, but in return, you get a very, very planted car. As you can see as I'm making this turn, the car doesn't really shift side to side or kind of understeer into the turn. Everything's very planted and very straight. The 5-speed automatic in this car is not very quick, but it definitely keeps up with the actual car itself. The 5-speed automatic is great, but this car could really use the 6-speed manual transmission to really bring out this car. With the automatic, the car revs up to about 5,500. I've noticed that some of the newer ones rev up to about 6,000 RPMs, but unfortunately you lose that torque. Overall, only with 202 horsepower, the motor is extremely solid. I've heard of some of these Wranglers going up to about 200,000 miles, so this motor seems very dependable, and so far I actually really like it. Everything on the interior is relatively basic. Both the side panels of the door and the center console are made of plastic, and the seats are also made of cloth. Though the seats are not powered, you can move the seats forwards and backwards and up and down, so the seat is pretty much adjustable for anyone of any height. Also, as you can see, the roof can be taken off, and it's an absolutely amazing experience to drive with the roof off on this car. Unfortunately, it does take quite a bit of work, and it's better to be on the safe side and use two people to take off the roof so you don't accidentally drop it. If you buy this car from a dealership, they should be able to give you the Allen wrenches to take the roof off. And if you don't see the wrenches in the trunk, definitely make sure to ask your dealership, because it's not necessarily something you want to pay for, especially when you can get it for free from the dealership. You also get a full spare tire, which is not only convenient, but it also gives the car a very aggressive look that the older Jeeps used to have. Right now I'm going to be testing the acceleration of the Jeep. Let's see what this 3.8 liter V6 can do. Right now I'm just waiting for this car to move out the way, and right about now I go full throttle. And this is pretty much just a straight shot. As you can see, I'm quickly picking up speed, and the car stays completely planted, and it can take the corner very well. I mean, this isn't a car that you should try to push very fast into corners, but it held the corner very well. The car stayed very planted, so the suspension is definitely doing its job. The brakes on this car do have a lot of travel. You don't have to push the brake completely down to come to a stop, but you can keep pushing the brake and pushing the brake and pushing the brake very, very far in. I was actually surprised, but the car actually stops very quickly given the weight, and considering that this car weighs about 4,000 pounds. Right now I'm just traveling down this very smooth road. The car is very quiet so far. I'm not getting a lot of engine noise. I'm not really revving the car out. It's just a very, very basic cruise, and so far everything is running perfectly fine. As you'll see in a minute, this Nissan starts heavily tailgating the guy in front. This dude was driving at about like 25 miles an hour, which is the speed limit here in New York, but no one necessarily drives at 25 miles an hour. So right now I'm just waiting for one of them to speed up or for one of them to move out of the way so I can test the acceleration of the car again. Right now we're coming up to a road, and the road gets a little windy. The guy in front looks like he's brake checking this guy, so unfortunately I had to slow down and didn't really get to test how well the car can corner. Just going to quickly pass this bus now that I'm around, and thank goodness this guy is turning. So the Ultima picks up speed. Now we're picking up speed too, and right now we're driving at a very decent pace, and so far the car also is quiet. The only noise that you'll really get is some of the rattling, which comes from the trunk of the car. I'm not necessarily sure what it is, and you'll get some wind noise from the roof being open, but other than that, it's pretty quiet when you have the roof on, except for some rattling and some creaks. And right now we test the acceleration of the car. The car picks up very well. Now we're coming towards a bus, so we're just slowing down. But overall, this is a very fun and solid vehicle. I am not a big fan of SUVs, but I was actually really enjoying this car. And though you might think, oh, if I had $40,000, I can buy a Mercedes or a BMW, you're honestly really missing out on the point of this car. You really have to drive it to understand what I mean. And right now, this is the end of the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a very great day.